Maybe I kind of spoke a little bit too quickly. Game number 2 coming at you here. The Go4Heroes, the Go4Heroes Americas Cup number 12 finals of Barrel Boys and Murlocs Inc. We're going back to Cursed Hollow. 5 of my 6 games today. Cursed Hollow, absolutely amazing. Definitely something to be said for this map, for sure. And coming into this, just taking a quick look, looks like Barrel Boys are on the blue this round. Red will be the Murlocs Inc. and blue with the first pick. Draft has started. Let us get underway. And we're going to be jumping into some bands. Yes, that is the word, some bands. And a very popular band to start it off with, the Barrel Boys, surprisingly, do not want to deal with the Nazebo, but on the flip, Zeratul from the Murlocs Inc. That Zeratul denied so many of those Gazlo plays last round. It was absolutely insane, and not really too much of a surprise because on Cursed Hollow, he can do even better ways to do that. So they're not going to deal with him, but because we have a few actually really good heroes coming through the draft, you could have probably guessed, if you're a big fan of the Barrel Boys, that they're going to take a hammer first. But you might say, Rhaegar, he made it through the bands. Illidan's there. Other things like that. And you'd be absolutely right, because it was an Illidan and a Rhaegar. First picks for the Murlocs. And now we're actually caught up to the draft. So what do you do when you need to protect the hammer? Well, your go-to man is the Battle Cow with the ETC. So he's going to be the front line. And already with that Rhaegar on the field, we're saying somebody's going to split a support, and it looks like we're going to split that Tassadar. So flip side here for the Murlocs, they have themselves the Illidan, they have themselves the Rhaegar, very likely to be a Malfurion or an Uther. Personally, I'm a bigger fan of Uther in this comp, because that way you can also deny it from the barrels, and that AoE stun is now yours. But you're also very likely to pick up a ranged DPS at this stage of the game, which would be the Vala. Vala has not been picked, and she is not the ban, and she is the pick here from the Murlocs Inc. So the second support, you're going to need something here, and if you actually do not take the Uther or the Malf, Barrel Boys is going to get their pick of it. And once again, well, the Murlocs are confident that they're not going to go double support, because they're going to put themselves here with the Stitch. So the Barrel Boys now have a choice. They can actually take the triple support with a hammer and the ETC. Not that they're likely to, but yeah, picking up at least one of the Malfurion. Oh my god! Somebody told me that the finals of the EU was triple support. Absolutely amazing today. Really fantastic stuff. I get hosted by Caldor, a big stream, and the NA finals and the EU finals both go with triple support comps. That's something for the ages, ladies and gentlemen. Something for the ages. All right, last pickup here from the Murlocs. Brightwing or Lily. They need another support to go with that front line of the Stitches, of the Illidan, and it's I don't know. I have to say it's going to be a Brightwing or Lily. They got the Vala in the back, and they need another support for the front line of the Illidan and the Stitches. Like, if it's not going to be that, I mean, the Murlocs came out really surprising with the Sonya pick last time. Could be a double warrior front line. They could actually go really super tanky in this case. They can pick up an Arthas. I mean, he's not as tanky as he used to be, but he's still a really good meat wall. You can go for the Mirrodin for the lockdown. You can go for Tyrande here. Tyrande for the ranged DPS and the stun and the the Hunter's Mark. That would actually work out really well because you get a little bit of heals and a little bit of DPS. And yep, okay, that's enough of that. And all right, I don't know actually if we're gonna get this last pick because Storm Draft has been a little bit strange today. Type pass pick. Just to see what it is. Last time it actually did work, so we'll have to see what it is. But I suspect, Tyrande, or it could be a Siege. We still got Zagara. Wow, all right. So Murloc's actually going to go... They are going to go range DPS. But they're not going to be able to... But they're not going to be able to get a double heal off. So I think the Barrel Boys just kind of countered a little bit too hard with those counter picks. Barrel Boys and Murlocs. The triple support, the hammer with an ETC in front of you. Absolutely ridiculous kind of comp coming out, but innovation waits for no one, it seems. And that is our draft. Good luck, have fun, teams. We're going to be jumping on into this one, and I'm done with my distractions, so do apologize a bit about that earlier. Of course, as I said, we do have a lot of people here on the stream. If you like what you hear, like what you see, feel free to hit the follow button. I do like to cover the ESL Go4 series every Sunday. I've done a few things there with the Amateur League on Wednesdays with Heroes Hype, Kings of the Storm on Saturdays as well with the solid Jack Egan crew. Yeah, definitely been in and around the scene for a little bit. And once again, big thanks to Cowdor for the host. Absolutely amazing guy. Bio break for one of the players. We do have a few minutes here to talk about what we're about to see on Cursed Hollow. This is my 6th game, I think, today on Cursed Hollow, because I did 2 quarters and the round of 16 and the semis and this and this. So maybe it's only my 4th one. 4th or 5th, either way. Right, they're just trolling. All right. So we've seen a lot of Cursed. This is, we haven't actually been seeing a lot of Stitches on Cursed. He's kind of been falling off a little bit in terms of the tankiness. He's definitely not the ban material anymore. And as you can see here, the Nazebo and the Zeratul were the bans this round. Zeratul had a fabulous game from the Barrel Boys last round. Some absolutely fantastic play for McIntyre. He definitely knows his melees. I think McIntyre is actually going to be on the Ild in this round because that's just what he likes to roll with. The Nazebo as a ban has been fairly frequent here on high competitive NA. If it's not a Nazebo, it's a Hammer. And if it's not a Zeratul, it's a Rhaegar. It's kind of like those 4 more or less kind of float around. So Tychus, though, is something that we haven't seen a ton of recently. He's kind of somebody that's fallen off quite a bit, actually. Because in the last patch, they took away his 2nd health bar. As a ranged DPS, he was really powerful. And as a ranged DPS that doesn't die, of course, that's even better, so to speak. But now we're seeing the rise of the double or triple, in this case, meta comps for support. Double tank seems to be the way of the dodo. A lot of the tanks have actually been hit by survivability nerfs one after another. I mean, Chen and Anubarak basically in the same patch. Arthas has now been hit for his survivability. That leaves us with like Muradin, ETC. The rise of the ETC is actually phenomenal. Diablo has actually been seeing a lot more play recently as well, which I find is phenomenal as well. But either way, here we go. We are into game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Barrel Boys and the Murlocs going to be battling out here on the Cursed Hollow. Both these teams have been playing quite well on the Cursed Hollow because, again, we've seen a heck of a lot of them. That was an interesting rollover effect there, ESL. Thank you for doing that. And so, if you guys don't know, this is Team Barrel Boys. They're up 1-0 over their opponents. Curse Fury, not part of Curse anymore, obviously. McIntyre, Trummel, Blinks, and Erho. On the flip side, Murlocs, Spanker, Clown, Equinox, Caterpillar, and Mad Timmy. Will triple supports become a thing? We're gonna have to add more supports to this game, Blizzard. If you're thinking about that kind of thing. Monks from Diablo 3 has always been my kind of go-to. Look at this! The triple support with the triple conjure is fantastic. So yeah, Trummel is gonna have a heck of a party lane. Erho and Blinks there to protect him. He's gonna be trying to push out as much as he can down there. That leaves us with Curse Fury into the top. He's been up in this top lane a lot tonight. And he's going to go up against Spanker. It's like the wet noodle fight. There's not really going to be any kills up there. Clown and McIntyre. That's actually not McIntyre on the Illidan. Right, because Spanker has him. Duh. Might have had the team names wrong. Do I have the team names wrong? Barrel Boys. No, I don't. Okay, never mind. All right, so McIntyre and Clown. They're just probably not going to kill each other either. So that leaves us into this bottom lane. Tychus with the Mad Timmy and the Caterpillar. So, yeah, the one support from Mad Timmy, he's literally going to be working overtime as that fight dog. But right now, they are forcing their opponents back. Other level 1 talents of note, Chew Your Food, Healing Totem, Shadow Shield, Composite Arrow, and Armor Piercing Round. I'm curious to see, will Equinox actually go into the full-on overkill build, or will it be the Melting Point? Melting Point has been predominant here, at least on the NA side of things, and definitely my favorite when I play the Tychus. But it is, some people have made cases for that extra range increase on the overkill. Tychus Vala feels like a very old school backline. You know, we got the Stitches up there, we got the Illidan, but, you know, those heals are going to be fairly split. We do got the healing totem from Rhaegar. I'm curious to see if it's going to be a full-on heal build instead of a fight dog this round. And as you can see again, top lane, neither of them really should kill each other, but they are getting the damage back and forth. Caterpillar and Equinox did get caught by some roots, but overall, wow, how did that actually hit Airho? Doesn't matter. There's not near enough damage to kill him this early game, not with Blinks there to protect him and the dual turrets, but both teams level 4, absolutely no roaming, so it's just going to be a little bit more of the passive side of things. Let's take a quick look. Double healing ward. Got the Maelstrom and the advanced here from the Sergeant Hammer. Not really a surprise. Likely to be going with just the straight out default build. Block, Echo Pedal. This would be Guitar Hero. And that leaves us with the Conjurers, Protect the Shield, and Cleanse. Yeah. I wonder, Yeah, I don't foresee a Clairvoyance coming out of this. Not at all. I mean, we got the Oracle. Tassadar and the Oracle should be enough. And we don't have any stealth to deal with, so yeah, very likely to be that Cleanse. On the flip side of things, taking a quick look, Amplified Healing, Feral Heart, which is a really good one. You really can't, you almost really can't afford to go not Feral Heart on a fight dog these days. It's just way too good for the sustain. Immolation, Arsenal, and it is going to be the Melting Point. So the Melting Point for pushing down towers, pushing out the creep waves. Look at the damage already done. The Tychus Vala doing, just the Tychus doing really good down here by himself. Mad Timmy deciding maybe to take it, maybe not. He's going to get hit by that moon. Yeah, Arrow's going to interrupt him. Wow, why am I blinking on that? Either way, Fury's still up top. Tassadar still mid as well. This is very Barrel Boys. They don't go for these early objectives. They play the poke and soak game. But right now, nobody's actually leaving lanes. So everybody is poking and soaking, and nobody's getting a tribute. So it's almost like a gentleman's agreement, it seems like. It's like, yeah, we're not going to go for it, and you're not going to go for it. We're just going to continue to just try to pound the skulls of you guys back and forth. Healing Ward going down, actually gets hit there by Trummel at the end of it all. And level 7 hype. Ooh, nice hook on top of Trummel. Has the thrusters ready to go. The counter stun from Blinks as well. This tribute just does not want to go anywhere whatsoever. Good roots. Equinox gives me a little bit of trouble. Uses the run and gun. He's going to be all right. Mad Timmy should be fine as well. We got that healing ward down from Airho. So everyone's just going to get their hit points back. And Clown thinking, yeah, all right, I'm going to take on McIntyre. Low hit points, a little bit back and forth. Spanker's predominantly been low on this top every time we go back to check him out. And nobody still wants this tribute. Poking and soaking away. Is it more damage? It is. There's going to be a static charge coming out here from our Tassadar. It's a little bit more damagey. Works out really well with his Archon. The extra range, the splash, and the extra damage. It's pretty phenomenal. First Aid, Loon's Grace, so the range on everything. Not a talent that's used to actually get picked ever. Used to be all about mules, but they were kind of nerfed in the last patch, so I haven't really seen a lot of mules. Even last game, I didn't see any mules. Fury is draining all the ammo up here. Spanker, unfortunately, not much he can do against the Battle Cow. And McIntyre, however, not really pushing in nearly as much as Clown. And Clown's actually starting to get really bullied out. That static charge is really starting to show in that talent choice. Looks like it's going to be a straight multi-shot build there from Vala. This tribute is still here. These guys are showing me something new every day. Double of the first aids and the Earth Shield coming out there from the Rhaegar. Slowly, ever so slowly, we're going to lose out in experience here because towers are going down, and 10 hype actually basically at the same time from both sides. So the bottom gate is dead here for the barrels. It's dead here for the barrels, but it's dead up here for the Murlocs. Either way, a little bit of experience lead going the way of the Murlocs on the back of all that, and we actually aren't able to even take out the well in the mid. Going to be a little problematic for them. Oh, somebody snuck it here. Not entirely too sure who, but somebody snuck the tribute for the barrels, and they're going to actually put that in their pocket and walk away. Still thinking on an ult here from ETC. We have predominantly actually been seeing stage dives on Cursed Hollow. Gives them a nice global presence, and if there's too many ways to get knocked out of a mosh pit, well, you're probably not going to get a good mosh pit off, which means you're now liable on that ult. He's still deciding, he's still thinking about it. Flip side though, Bloodlust comp. Mad Timmy is really mad. He didn't go Ancestral. He's the only healer and he's not Ancestral. My goodness. All right, Curse Fury with a good mosh. He decides, yep, it's going to be it. Equinox here with the first aid. He's going to get healed out by the Mad Timmy, but he have no Ancestral on them. Lynx is going to get off the stun, decides not to use the Divine, and the Tranquility is still ready to pop there as well. So Airho will go for the Tranquility, but we don't have the Ancestral. I am really curious what Timmy's doing this game, but Clown's been pushing up into that mid. He's going to get, well, 3-man ganked. Nice Rain of Vengeance actually to go off with the roots and the stun. That's going to be it for Clown. Trummo even coming up to get a piece of the action. That's going to be a kill now for them. We got some bruisers now pushing down into the mid. Curse Fury is still actually pushing down to the top and with that mosh, so he does not have the global presence. Equinox is going to come up here to try to deny what he can. Trummo returns to the bottom lane. He did actually clear out this gate during all that, but a lot of gates going down. And did Tychus actually try to fight Fury? My goodness. What were you doing? Kill. 2 kills, 0. Barrel Boys, once again, with that kill lead, taking a little bit of the experience lead now as well. Nobody to soak up to that top lane, so they are about to push ahead ever so slightly. Level 13 talents now abound, once again with the Ice Block, the Giant Killer, the Shrink Ray. It's going to be the Uber Rockstar, and double Shrink Ray on these supports. Maddening, yeah. Mad Timmy is actually going to hit here, and that's actually going to be the punt backwards. Lynx could not catch up, cannot get off that stun. Really nice bile there from Caterpillar, saving out Timmy. Clown's actually going to be a top, and it looks like it should be a collapse here on top of this tribute. Fury is already there, but he has 15 seconds on Mosh Pit, so... Oh, he missed! He missed on top of Timmy, but it's going to be a Shrink Ray, and there's the roots. The healing totem goes down. It's not going to be near enough, and now Spanker off to the side with no support, just drops like a rock. Illidan without the double heals is a little painful to watch, and with 2 kills under their belt and the curse, the Murlocs can't do anything. They're absolutely not contesting. They now have to go defend. They're actually going to try to push bottom, try to get a fort during all this, but now they're going to have a boss pushing to the top, and very likely the barrels are going to go straight for their boss as well. That could be double boss pressure during a curse, and we could actually possibly see level 16 by the end of this. But Equinox and Clown, there's the melting point working away. They got the Stone Bros down here as well. As I said, they're going to try to get as much as they can during this curse, even though it's not theirs. But McIntyre might be trying to chase down Caterpillar. We got the rotation. I mean, the boss and the Stone Bros up here, the Siege Giants. They're going to do some good work. We took out the gate. That's going to be it there. McIntyre could be in some trouble, but it looks like he's going to be all right. The healing is insane from the barrels. The Mosh Pit keeping Timmy and Caterpillar all locked up. Clown not looking so healthy, but he's not really making a big dent on the opponent's health bars. Lynx is going to be the big target. Spanker is not getting off of whatsoever, but he does change targets at the end. He gets off ETC. Airho with that ice block, he's just now going to die as well, and the damage is finally starting to show here. From the Murlocs, from Spanker, from Mad Timmy, they couldn't grab the kill on top of the Fight Dog. And that is going to actually put us not so bad off. You know, with some of those kills, the Murlocs are going to keep themselves in it. It is level 16 by the end of the curse. That boss did a good amount of work out here with these siege golems during that fight. They got not only the fort, but the but the gate, and almost this keep. I mean, we got no mules here. That is permanent damage. Now, on the flip side, we did get kills. Finally, the damage starting to show here from the Murlocs, and they did get this bottom fort, but now they're about to lose out this second boss. McIntyre decides to pop out that Archon. He saw the pressure coming in here from Spanker, decided, nope, not going to deal with it. And actually, they pop out now that boss. Will the boss be able to take down the fort, however, at 10 minutes, 45 seconds in? That's my question. Either way, 16 talents are out. Resonation, Hover Siege, Tenacious, and again, this double imposing presence that the barrels really like to run. The Stitches, Pulverize, Lightning Bond. It is actually, this is a full offensive Fight Dog. My goodness. For the only support, they said, all right, we can't heal, so we're just going to kill everything. Really mad strats from Mad Timmy. I love it. It's absolutely wonderful. Blood for blood, and Stone Skin. game. So other than the curious choice of Rhaegar, yeah, everything's pretty much on the spot and pretty normal for what the teams usually like to run. There doesn't seem to be a lot of alteration. But the Task Star is a very different build than last round. He was Prescience and Dimensional Shift. This round, he's a bit more, he's supposed to be a bit more of a bruiser, a bit more of a damage with the Task Star because the Static Charge gives him extra auto attack damage for anything he attacks in the Psy Storm. And now he has the Psy Storm slow. So a little bit of utility to add to that as well. Lots of damage going back and forth, but the teams basically bounce off each other as we got almost level 17 each side. The experience is ridiculously even, and we didn't actually pick up a tribute at all here from the Murlocs in that early game. This first tribute could be theirs if they can get off this pick. If they can get a pick with this damage, they might have a chance here, and they're looking for it. They're looking for Blinks. Blinks actually throws out that sprint. He's ready to go. Here comes the Bloodlust. Damage going down. Stun lock for days, but Blinks, he's starting to get really low. Spanker in the back, but he's nice and small with that shrink ray. There goes the ETC. Caterpillar is actually going to be the return, and because of the roots were so good here. From Arrowhead, they locked down the Illidan. He's down. Mad Timmy for the hat trick. And now Clown is in big danger. Look at the size of those roots. There it is. That's the quad. And Trummel thinking about chasing down Equinox, but he's not gonna because there's a fort right there. Either way, the tribute going into the pockets of the barrels, and that's gonna be a fort, and that is gonna be a really big win for them here late game. This triple support slash whatever build this is absolutely took them to town right there. The Murlocs just started blowing up bit after bit after bit. So there's no tribute and there's no bosses. There's one creep camp on the map. What is our timing on bosses? 30 seconds here, a little over 2 minutes left on this bottom one as well. All the forts are down, just this one lone tower keeping the peace here in the mid. And yeah, just gonna wait for some death timers, regroup, see where we can go. We've still got 2 of our forts up from the barrels. They've done a really good job actually keeping their structures intact. Well, I mean, mostly intact. That's a small health bar, but it's still there. And here it is, the next tribute actually spawning out top. A really nice prediction. You can definitely try to predict using the algorithm here of Cursed Hollow, but you know, either way, we had the positioning. We got the creeps now going to be pushing up with those siege minions. Either way, the Murlocs, they have to kind of contest this because if they don't, they're going to be looking at a Curse next round. Possibly a level 20 team with Curse is a devastating late game effect. We are almost 19 as it ends up for the Barrel Boys. We're going to be doing a little bit of dancing here. We have to get this hook. We have to get off a money hook here from Caterpillar. And you can't be on ETC because he's just going to mosh. Yes, put it on top of Arrowhead. It's one of the bigger targets that you really want to be hooking. Fortunately, there was just no big follow-up. What kind of CC do we have past Caterpillar? I mean, you got the grenade, not exactly the biggest thing. You got Spanker with that momentary, but yeah, I don't know. There's really no kind of big lockup to follow this Stitches, and you can get off hook after hook after hook, but if the team can just re-engage on you, you've almost given them, you know, a favor. So the Murlocs, you know, they're looking for a big open space. They don't want to get cramped up in a spot, and they think that this is going to be it. But Mad Timmy, he's actually going to get stunned and stunned into a mosh. That's going to be the Rain of Vengeance, doesn't save out the Rhaegar. Curse is now doing so well. The heals are immense on the Barrel Boys. They're not even moving on top of their hit points. Spanker is about to lose his life. Caterpillar down to a third of his, and that's going to be Roots. That's going to be a kill. The Stitches is down for 55 seconds. And this is going to be a Curse. And I said almost a level 20 team. Well, they got to about 19 and a half. Either way, we got pings going out. It's going to be boss hype and a really late game boss with a Curse. It's going to be absolutely devastating up against the Murlocs. This could be game. This might be the foundation right now to end the game in favor of a 2-0 for the Barrel Boys. It really comes down to these next few moments. We're still on a 3-for-5. These guys cannot engage. They can poke and they can try, but ultimately they're not going to be able to stop this boss. And we can either just push in, get the keep, go grab the other boss down here, poke in, get a team fight, get the keep, win the game. There's a lot of things that we could be doing here with the barrels. And just before level 20, if they get this keep, I think that's 20. If that's 20 off this keep, well, keep and creep wave. This is just the worst position ever. Absolutely the worst position that the Murlocs could be asking for. Let's see what this level 20 hype is. It is going to be pretty much everything you're expecting. The Nexus Frenzy, Twilight, the Bolt, the Storm Shield, and the Divine Hurricane. So here it is, on the ropes, the Murlocs in their base. That's going to be the Bloodlust forward. They're looking to engage on the back of all this. Mad Timmy looking to cut off the escape, throws down the heals, tries with the Earth Thrust. Caterpillar trying his best as well with the pile, but it's not going to be enough. The hit points are just not going down for the barrels. 1 and 2. There goes the Illidan. Mad Timmy's going to be okay, but I don't think Equinox is going to get out of this one. This Link forward, and the mosh pit. There goes Clown, there goes the Tychus, and Mad Timmy jumps in just for the sake of dancing. That is gonna be the ace, the cleanup. Well, okay, they're gonna let him live, but that is gonna be the game regardless, as it will be 2-0 in favor of the Barrel Boys here for the Go4Heroes Americas Cup number 12. You have your champions. Whew. Amazing. It happened. The 2-0. Barrel Boys, undefeated here in Cup number 12, all the way through finals, taking down the Murlocs with, well, you know, I didn't expect to see it, but Uther, Malfurion, Tassadar, Protect the Hammer, worked out extremely well. Nobody ever died. Oh, that's a lie. I mean, there were some deaths. It was 14-3 by the end of it all. 14-3. You know, I was a little scared with the double healer meta becoming like the big thing here in NA. Now I'm a little more scared that the triple support. My goodness, what a comp. Barrel Boys, congratulations, guys. 2-0. You go home with some cash in your pocket and the seeding points here for, I believe, the last cup of the February Go4Heroes. If this isn't the last one, then the 29th, which will be next Sunday, will be the last one. But either way, seeding points is seeding points. May it keep you in the ESL majors. And speaking of, ESL majors will resume, of course, on Tuesdays and Thursdays with the Solid Jack, Egg, and Kubi. You can find them over Solid Jake, GG, and ESL Heroes. You can find them also on the Twitters because they will be resuming coverage on Tuesday. I've been the FourCourtJester. It has been phenomenal. Definitely hit some records today on stream. You guys were fantastic, and it's great to have an audience today. Once again, big thanks to Cowdor, Sia Steve, ESL, the other streams, Unctious, and the Party Foul. Congratulations, guys. You did some good work today. And I'll very likely see you next Sunday for the Go4Heroes Americas Cup number 13. Have yourselves a wonderful night, and we'll see you in the Nexus.